FinTech is an incredibly exciting industry sector. Cardiff and the South Wales area has got a real opportunity to capitalise on the fact that we have a number of key anchor businesses here. So I absolutely believe that Cardiff and South Wales is going to have a huge FinTech sector in the future.
For early stage companies, Wales provides a great incubation area. There was a number of great technologists down here. There was a great environment in which to build a business. Also, it's actually a very nice place to live. We can hire top talent at a decent price.
I do think that Cardiff has the potential to become a sort of hub for FinTech or a centre of excellence. This is a growing sector. It's something that the UK does really, really well. We should be proud of it, and we should be spreading the love throughout the country, and we're very, very happy to be doing that in Cardiff. It's important to us that there are other FinTech companies nearby because that increases the size of the talent pool, it attracts people. It also makes graduates from the universities want to stay in the area.
Being located in South Wales means that we are in a very privileged position because there is a brilliant cluster of universities and colleges that we can take advantage of. And it's really fantastic to work with those young people who are coming through the workforce to understand their thinking and to hear their new ideas. FinTech is significantly benefiting the Welsh economy, not just from the employment of individuals working in those businesses, but employment for the businesses that are around to support those FinTech businesses. So for example, lawyers, accountants, all I see is growth, and I expect more of that to come.
Good afternoon and welcome. Welcome to the home of the Dragons here in Newport. My name is Sarah Williams-Gardner and I'm delighted to welcome you here today for the FinTech Wales Foundry Cohort Season 3. First of all, before we kick off, today would not be possible without our sponsors. Our event sponsors for today are the Dragons, it's Capital Law, the Dev Bank of Wales and the Welsh Government and Angels Invest Wales. We thank them enormously for helping us sponsor this event. The Foundry programme has been supported by Cardiff Capital Region, the Principality Building Society and Confused.com, and without that support we wouldn't be able to do what we've done on this programme, which is bringing and incubating new exciting businesses here to Wales. So first of all, FinTech Wales. FinTech Wales was founded in 2019. I'm delighted to see our founding member in the audience, Richard Theo, who saw that there was an opportunity to bring the FinTech cluster, the financial services, the insurance businesses together in Wales and actually give this cluster a voice. We've got 86 members in our membership, and that's both the FinTechs and the supporting services that we have here in the cluster. Most importantly, we are not for profit. We are for the benefit of the ecosystem. And to support that, we are supported by 20 expert advisors on our panel, and we rotate those regularly to make sure that we've got fresh ideas and we're challenged on a regular basis. Go on. Thank you. So FinTech Wales, I might need my little person to do the thing. FinTech Wales is on a single mission, and that is to get Wales globally recognised as a hub of excellence. Earlier on, a couple of years ago, there was a UK strategic report which looked at FinTech, and it recognised that Wales was an evolving and emerging cluster, being in the top 10 in the UK. The UK already being the top of Europe as far as FinTech and FinTech excellence is concerned. Over the past 2 years, we have grown that, and I'm delighted to say that we are moving up. It's debatable. We're moving up the top 10. I would say we're in the top half. So what does FinTech Wales do? FinTech Wales is judging themselves, or FinTech Wales is measuring the amount of jobs that we bring to the area, the number of people that we can get employed, retrained, employed in the ecosystem. We're about building this ecosystem. The ecosystem is not only the FinTechs and the financial services organisations, but it is also the supporting services that we have around that. It is the law firms, the accountancy firms, the advisory firms, and most importantly, the funders and investors. And we're delighted that we've got investors here in the room. And I'd also like to welcome those people who are joining us live online. I believe we're going out to sort of 60 or 70 countries in support of the Welsh Government and the Department for Trade. So funding and investment is also a significant part for us, and we judge ourselves on how much of that we can actually bring into the ecosystem. We have just released our annual report. It's a little bit of a plug for that, so if you want to go to our website and take a read. In the past 12 months, we've created over 1,000 jobs in the Welsh FinTech ecosystem, and we've raised £20 million just through the programmes that we've run through the Foundry, which is significant. So we do that by to ensure that we are a globally recognised FinTech hub of excellence. We actually do that by strategically focusing on 4 different areas. That's the skills and talent, the ecosystem and the community, building that community. We also make sure that we've got the right funding and investment. And most importantly, and today is a great opportunity to do that, is to promote Wales and promote the talent and the businesses that we have here in the ecosystem. It's not working. Someone do my slides for me. So today is about the Foundry. So welcome to the FinTech Wales Foundry. I could go on about all of the programs that we are doing in our ecosystem in our day-to-day work, but today is all about focusing on the Foundry, on season 3, on the cohort that we have, which have been validating their products and getting themselves ready to raise investments. Before I do that, thank you. So what is the Foundry? So FinTech Wales Foundry is a no equity Foundry, which is about incubating the startups. It's about getting them ready to scale, not only in Wales, but beyond the Welsh ecosystem. And delighted to say that some of the members of our first cohort have already physically been taken out on a trade mission to expand their businesses over to the Far East. Yes, please. The programme is no equity. This programme, this last one that we've run, worked over an 8-week period. It was a very intense, once every 2 weeks in person. Thankfully, we're post-COVID and we can bring people back together and in the same room. And there's huge advantage from this ecosystem and community actually supporting each other. We bring in expert advisors, and those advisors are people that we know their stuff. These are founders. These are people who've been through the journey. These are people who can really help these startups to actually break down their proposition, to understand their market fit, and make sure that they have a good go-to-market business model. We wouldn't be able to do it without our corporate sponsors. So again, I'd thank the Cardiff Capital Region Principality and Confused.com for supporting this particular programme. So this is tangible support. This is introducing them to the ecosystem, both here in Wales and beyond, so they can bring these businesses into Wales and grow them. So we've run 2 successful programmes, and the results speak for themselves. Again, a plug for our annual report. You'll be able to read all about this in there. But 16 startups have come through the 2 programmes, raising over £20 million from some people who are in this room and some people who are online. They're forecasting revenues in excess of £100 million, and they in their own rights, have created over 100 jobs through this programme, which is what this is fundamentally about, building this ecosystem and promoting what we have in Wales. So this season, Foundry cohort season 3, was about validating and getting ready to raise. And so shortly you will be seeing the companies that have come through that. This programme is a focused programme. It's really focused. It's getting people to make sure they know where they want to place their product, that they're not scattergunning, that they're focused and they will actually get themselves ready to market. It's in person, it's practical, it's hands-on, and you'll be seeing from the programme director, Neil Cocker, in a minute, just just how much these guys have really benefited from this. As I said, tangible, we introduce them to the ecosystem, we introduce them to founders, we introduce them to funders. And we're also very proud about this being about Pro Wales. Wales as an ecosystem has a great access to support. It's a very collaborative ecosystem, and it also has great opportunities for funding. Those funds that come through the angel invest opportunities, through the DevBank work, you know, we get the ability to have match funding down here, which is not always the case across the rest of the UK. So we're very proud of that. We also happen to think this is a beautiful place and a wonderful place to be building your business. So without further ado, I'm going to invite my colleague Neil Cocker, who is the master of this programme, who is going to take you through, and he's going to start unveiling the 7 amazing startups that we'll be pitching to you on this stage this afternoon. So I hope you enjoy. Thank you very much indeed.
Hiya, folks. Yeah, I'm the last talk between you and these 7 amazing startups that I've been working with. So yeah, thank you all for coming. Really very grateful to have you here. My name is Neil Cocker. I'm an entrepreneur, startup mentor and advisor, and for a long time now I've been working in particularly the Welsh ecosystem, but also the Bulgarian ecosystem, strangely, and a bit of work in Albania and Macedonia, of all places, helping build startup ecosystems and working directly with founders themselves. And about a year ago, a man called Eamon Tuhami, who you've already met, asked me for a coffee, and I was on the verge of selling a business and thinking about what was next. And Eamon was like, I know what's next for you. Why don't you come and run our startup programme? As he was on he is on the board of FinTech Wales. So I said yes. And I'm very glad that I did. I thought, well, I'll go and run one programme and see how I get on with it, and then I'll go off and start my next business. And no. So here I am for the second programme. The second run season 2, and this is season 3. Yeah, it's been an absolute joy. So I'm really, really pleased to be here today in Rodney Parade. Our first was in the Millennium Stadium, or the Principality Stadium. Sorry, Ben. The Principality Stadium. David Buttress has been very kind and offered us this space, and David has threatened me that I need to tell you something, and that is that this place is very, very competitively priced and has plenty of parking. So David would not forgive me if I didn't let you know that small fact. So yeah, loved season 2, came back for season 3. The number one issue I've experienced over the years of working with startups is, and it's borne out by lots and lots of data, is most of them build things that the market doesn't want. No market need is the number one reason that startups fail. In other words, they spend a lot of time and perhaps a lot of your money building things that nobody wants. And Sarah has already talked about why this programme is important, why it's different. But I think the number one thing that differentiates it and separates it is it's designed by founders and run by founders. Myself, and with the support of Eamon, we know what it's like to lie awake at 3 o'clock in the morning thinking that you're not going to make payroll. So that's a really, really important thing, and we're very challenging. And I think that's what separates us. This is not a programme where they come along, get 6 months free desk space, a pat on the head, a couple of talks from a bank manager, and then on your way. We ask tough questions, and we have tough conversations. And all of the founders that you're about to hear from have had me ask them very, very tough questions in the last couple of months. And I don't do that because I enjoy making them sweat. That's just an added bonus. But it's because without that, they're not going to get to the point of building a product that the market needs and therefore grow. I don't think I have anything else to tell you, apart from the fact I'm incredibly proud to have worked with them. They're all brilliant. They've all done an incredible job. It's been a joy to work with them for 8 weeks. And we're going to see just what they've got to offer. So, first person I would like to welcome to the stage is Savannah from Serene.
Let's see that this works. Otherwise, I've got the same problem. Okay. All right, well, looking around this room, I think I can safely say that everyone here knows someone who suffered from mental health problems. In my case, my sister was diagnosed with bipolar the year that she went to undergrad. Now, my family and I had to get quite good at being able to tell her emotional state from as little as a phone call. But recently, something was different. On the outside, she seemed fine. But my dad had noticed some really erratic spending going through on her accounts, and he predicted that she was heading towards a knife edge. Now, it's important to note that although this is true for my sister, there is a scientifically proven link between dysregulated spending, problem debt, and mental health problems. And it is this insight that enabled us to predict the onset of 2 subsequent episodes simply by tracking changes in my sister's spending behaviors. Today, I'm going to show you how we're going to do the same thing digitally and at scale. I'm Savannah, founder of Serene, and we exist to connect the dots between people's mental and financial health. We use data as a force for good, helping people to identify, manage, and ultimately prevent poor mental health, while simultaneously empowering them to achieve their financial goals, just by looking at changes in their financial behaviors. We're targeting 18 to 24-year-old Gen Z, young, stressed out, financially unstable students and recent graduates. Why? Because financial stress is the #1 cause of mental health problems. But did you know that 93% of all people spend impulsively and avoid paying bills when their mental health is poor, resulting in a vicious cycle of debt and stress? On both these accounts, Gen Z is in crisis. But the beauty of Gen Z is that they all have a smartphone, and this holds a treasure trove of data that can be used to predict mental health. Spending, location, screen time, activity, even sleep. Our solution is to combine these data sets into an early identification system for mental health. Ooh. Okay, well, what this means is that if we can spot problems early, we can provide timely mental health support when it is needed before there's a crisis, whilst at the same time helping our users save more, spend responsibly, and achieve their financial goals. We are the perfect team to solve this problem. I recently completed my MBA from the University of Oxford and have founded 2 businesses prior to this. But most importantly, I am my target audience. And over the last few months, I've assembled a team of experts dedicated to solving one of the greatest challenges of our time. Our product does 3 core things. It will use predictive analytics to spot when someone's mental health is deteriorating based on irregularities and deviations from their typical spending behaviors. Not only does that allow us to deliver timely behavioral nudges and smart spending controls to each individual user, but we can tailor financial education based on their behaviors to meet our users where they're at, producing long-term, financially healthy citizens and conscious consumers. Initially, we will operate on a subscription-based model for students and their parents. But our goal is to make money from the organizations that stand to benefit from the improved mental health of their students, employees, and clients. Our ambition is massive. And in a few years, we'll be changing the lives of millions of people across the world who suffer from a variety of different mental health conditions. But in the near term, we are hyper-focused on the UK and where these problems are most prevalent and most acute, ADHD. We've been moving incredibly fast. So far, we have done 350 customer interviews, run 5 prototyping cycles with 75 target users. We're currently developing an app with 5 of our target users, and we already have a beta version of our machine learning algorithm that can spot emotional stress from your transaction behaviors. Our technical infrastructure is ready to go, and I'm very proud of this. We've organically grown 2,500 community members.
Now, all we need is $250,000 in SEIS funding to build an incredible business that is going to change the lives of millions. So, to sum it all up, Serene provides a truly differentiated experience that extends beyond financial products and services. We use data as a force for good, helping people to manage their mental health and empowering them to achieve their goals. Although we're starting with Gen Z, just think how many lives this could impact.
It's one of those businesses that genuinely can change the world and also make a huge amount of money, so I love that. Next up, please welcome to stage Mark from FinTech.
It works. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mark, and I'm the founder of FinTech.io, where we're making investing in property as safe as houses. There are 2.6 million landlords in the UK today, of which 82% of those own between 1 and 4 properties. These are not overly sophisticated investors and typically will have a large portion of their overall wealth tied up in their property portfolios. This makes decision-making difficult, usually for fear of making the wrong decision. I've been in financial services now for the last 25 years and have spent the last 5 or more years working as a specialist mortgage broker, and I've had hundreds, if not thousands, of conversations with landlords and have a deep understanding of what their daily issues are. And we've been able to distill that into 3 distinct areas. Those are time, risk, and finance. So not just time in managing the portfolio, but also wasted time on transactions that do not complete, usually through reasons that could have been identified much sooner in the process. Secondly, risk across the portfolio and any potential new purchases. And thirdly, finance, getting access to the right finance at the right time and at the right price. So we exist to support the housing sector by helping property investors remain commercially sustainable. PRS, or the private rental sector, accounts for 16% of the overall housing stock in the UK and houses more than 11 million people. Therefore, it is imperative that landlords and property investors remain commercially viable. That way, it passes that on to the private rental sector, provides stability for those it serves most, the tenants. So what is the solution? The solution is data. Currently, property investors and landlords will use a very basic spreadsheet. We'll probably do some research on sites such as Zoopla and Rightmove and use that information to try and inform their decisions. When they're looking to make purchases, they'll engage an agent and then become reliant on the information that the agent will also provide. This opens them up to increased risk when they're making their investment decisions. Property is the world's biggest asset class, yet the level of bespoke insight and market reporting available for landlords is extremely limited. And the guys at PropTech One Ventures echo that with this statement. We're talking about hundreds of millions of euros being exchanged, but the main tools they use are Excel spreadsheets. In short, this sector has huge inefficiencies in it. So what is the answer? The answer is FinTech. FinTech is a portfolio and deal analytics engine which combines institutional-grade data and analytics and presents it to the masses, meaning that new and existing investors get deep insight into market forces that could change the risk profile of an investment. The software is also smart enough to make recommendations bespoke to the user based on their chosen objectives. And because we know so much about the transaction and their portfolios, we can make laser-focused recommendations around the lenders and at the right time and the right type of finance. Think of FinTech as your analyst and broker rolled into one. The business model is simple, so we have a monthly subscription for the engine itself, and then we get a commission for the completed loans out at the back end. The market itself is substantial. There's been £84 billion worth of lending completed in 2021 alone, and the assets within the private rental sector equate to 1.4 trillion. And we've got 2.6 million landlords that could all benefit with deeper insight into their property investments. That equates to a £1.8 billion total accessible market per annum. So why now? Why now? Increasing interest rates, increasing legislation, and the threat of decreasing property values ultimately means that margins are being squeezed. So it's never been more important to understand the metrics within your investment portfolio. The team, well, it's me. I'm a sole founder. I have many years' experience in financial services, and I'm also a property investor myself. Our go-to-market strategy is very clear and well thought out. We've got a multiple-prong approach to it, ultimately aiming to hit an audience reach of in excess of 500,000, very focused, very quickly, and on a very efficient budget. Where are we to date? So we're due to launch our MVP actually this month. We've already established ourselves as a RICS tech partner. If you're not familiar with RICS, those are the guys who are responsible for the property valuations. And we're in talks with Sky TV about featuring FinTech as a software on the property TV channel. We're currently raising £300,000 to help us get to our first 10,000 users and make a couple of strategic hires. And if you'd like to scan the QR code, you can get exclusive access on investor materials as well. Thank you very much. My name's Mark. Thank you for listening.
I'm actually, don't tell Mark this, I'm secretly hoping he doesn't succeed really, really well, because I'm probably buying a new house next year and I'm definitely going to need lots of his time as a smart guy who knows the market. So eventually, I don't know, we are having clicker problems today. I'd like you to welcome to the stage next Avinash from Good Driver.
Hello everyone, I'm Avinash, founder of Good Driver, and we are on a mission to make driving affordable and safe. Car insurance can be really costly. Young drivers pay over 3 times more premium than average. But it's not just the young drivers. As an immigrant, when I came to UK and started driving, I had to pay a really high car insurance premium too. But it's not only that. New drivers take up to 5 years to get to average premium prices. So I had to climb that chart and spend 5 years building a no-claims bonus profile to get close to average premium prices. How do we solve this? Well, at Good Driver, we are launching a customer-centric and a truly usage-based insurance product where you are in control of your insurance bills. Our product is a monthly subscription and combines pay how you drive and pay per mile. In other words, you can save on your insurance every month if you drive better or if you happen to drive fewer miles. All of this is done on back of our insurance super app, which has inbuilt telematics and policy management. Let's look at a couple of important product features. The first one is the driving score. The concept of driving score is just like your credit score. It changes every month, updates every month depending on your driving, and you are in control. It's an AI-based score and takes into account various data sets like your driving behavior, the time of the day you drive, phone distraction while driving, the roads you drive on, and so on. And then the second feature, which is quite critical to Good Driver, is that it's an insure now, pay later model. So your bill is generated at the end of the month depending on your driving score that month and the number of miles you have driven, giving you a variable bill every month depending on usage. In terms of competition, Good Driver is the only insurtech which is combining pay per mile and pay how you drive, which makes sense to make anything usage-based. But the way we are trying to go ahead of the competition and remain ahead is that we are going to be data and customer first. We're going to use advanced analytics in risk selection, fraud, etc. And customer centricity is on the forefront. We are here to serve the underserved, good drivers amongst us. Bear in mind that Good Driver is not telematics. We are a pay-per-mile solution. We have a monthly subscription. You get a personalized driving score and a real-time feedback through the driving assistant app. In terms of the market size, there are 32 million drivers in the UK who pay more than £16 billion in premium every year. Our target market is young drivers, immigrant, low mileage, and electric car drivers who sum up to around 14 million drivers. And as per our business plan, in 4 years, we want to get to 176,000 drivers, underwriting and 120 million in premiums. That's just the UK market in our initial plan. In terms of business model, Good Driver is placed as a broker. This allows us to be customer-centric, focus on product pricing, and maximizing lifetime value for the customer. But at the same time, it allows us to work with different insurers and underwrite different kinds of risks, for example, electric cars or young drivers. Commercially, we would be keeping roughly 20% of the premiums for product and technology and passing on the rest to the insurers for claims management. In terms of market timing, FCA in 2022 stopped unaccountable increases in prices at renewal. This means that there are pressure at new business prices, and the conditions are ideal for customers to switch. We are getting more and more data from connected cars, so our driving algorithm is going to be ready for the semi-autonomous world. And with inflation, when everyone is trying to save money, Good Driver fits the bill quite well. In terms of traction, we have built the app. We have it on the App Store. We have done some critical partnerships, such as with Mercedes for connected car data. We are negotiating underwriting capacity as we speak, and as well as build algorithms on driving intelligence, which will be critical in pricing models later on. So the ask for us is £300,000 SEIS. The idea is to get to a gold standard product and app, 5,000 users to use it, get 10 million miles of data on our cloud, and then very soon we plan to get on price comparisons, and then in 4 years get to £25 million in revenue in brokerage. And finally, a bit about me. I'm the founder and CEO. I bring a wealth of insurance experience, leading strategy and innovation for global market leaders such as Admiral, Zurich, and Bupa. And I'm not new to startup ventures or products. I have brought FinTech, InsurTech, EdTech related products to market before. Our tech team is based out of India. Well, thanks for listening. I look forward to speak to you, and I welcome you to join us in the journey to make driving safe and affordable. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm definitely a potential user, even though I'm perhaps not in the target market anymore. But I'm someone who uses Cover, one of the competitors, on a regular basis. I gave my car away several years ago and kind of committed to not having a car as much as I could. And so I use Cover quite a lot to borrow friends' cars. And it's brilliant. I'm just looking forward to switching to Good Driver. OK, so next, I'm looking forward to introducing Andrew from Newable to the stage. Thank you.
Hello, Shemai. I'm Andrew. Here to talk to you today about Newable. We're on a platform on a mission to accelerate the transition to net zero living for homeowners. 29 million homes in the UK right now are in need of retrofit. What that means is upgrading with renewable technologies to reach the government's targets of net zero by 2050. That is a huge task, a huge challenge we have. That is equivalent to 2,000 homes a day completing that transition to net zero. As well as that, 80% of our existing housing stock we'll be living in 2050. So they will need upgrading and some overhauls for retrofitting at the same time. Why now? The UK government is the first government to bake into policy the need to net zero by 2050. So it'll affect us all, and we have a big challenge to address. As well as that, the markets are confusing for consumers and homeowners. It's very difficult to know in the biased way in which you're sold solar and any other renewable tech. How can you validate that that's suitable for your home? And let's not forget the energy crisis and climate change right now. We're all facing it and we're all feeling it. So it's a big challenge we all need to face together collaboratively. 20% of our carbon emissions come from our homes right now. So we need to take properties from the most leakiest, inefficient housing stock in Europe to a very, very efficient, well-insulated, well-ventilated, sustainably powered homes of the future. But where do you start? So For us, we're looking at that consumer base, and we're presenting Newable as an online home planner platform where you get unbiased energy plan solutions based on your area, based on the environmental conditions and the observable reality. As well as that, we're looking to provide access to financing solutions, be those loans and grants, and scraping that data and providing it to the user. And a supplier installed network that is certified, trustmark, potentially, where the homeowner and the consumer can really identify who is going to build this retrofit for them. So ultimately, we're looking to save the consumer time, save them money, and increase the property value. At this moment in time, or until recently, RICS did not kind of consider the valuation of a property to include the retrofit or the renovation, but that is changing very quickly. So, our traction so far and our progress, we had an innovation grant from the Innovation Housing Project with the Welsh Government, and we've built a platform that covers Pan Wales right now, down to a measurement of 500 metres, with the 4 top technologies within renewable that are suitable for homes. And you can go online and you can look at that. Type in a postcode, generates a report, and you can see what that looks like. The next step for us really is to connect the commercialization with lenders and installer networks for that. Okay. Myself, 22 years in product development and branding and scaling businesses, and Alex Egan, also in a similar space with business development and scaling teams with inside PLCs. This is an offset business model because we all know consumers are not going to pay for data or pay for information. So we see this as an offset business model. We can then use the data and the analytics to sell to Landtech or Realize and platforms that are ingesting that property data and information. Next. As you can see, so we're thinking about that paid-for model and how the benefit to the consumer is in the free education, access to the data, and really cutting out the guesswork on it. Okay. The market is an estimated 3.5 to 6.5 billion annually, and we see ourselves sitting in the sweet spot of that data analytics and the information that isn't biased and isn't driven by services or product-led. This is information-led. But equally, we think the entire network in this is potentially a customer base as well, so it just combines it all together. We've got to collaborate here. Okay. Next steps, we're potentially looking to raise in 2023, and our focus is on the commercialization. So we're really looking to speak to partners within that lending space and also to the installer networks themselves, and get this platform scaled to UK-wide. We look forward to speaking to you afterwards if you'd like to know more. Thank you.
The really good thing about the clicker not working properly, so I'm getting really good side work out, so I'm just working on those. So thank you, Andrew, and the next pitch next startup I'd like to invite to the stage is Tom from Cargo.
Let's go. Right, afternoon everyone. Really good to be here with you today. I'm Tom, co-founder at Cargo, and we're here to make it easier for people to make better plans with their friends. This is me and my best mate Sam, September last year, the morning of his wedding. 2 years prior, Sam had given me the great honour of asking him to be best man at his wedding. My number one priority was to give him a stag do that he wouldn't forget, or wouldn't remember. After 6 months of planning, dodging lockdowns, we finally made it to London, and this is on the first day. That £9 beer you can see in front of me is one of the best I've ever tasted. Mainly excitement, and we're ready to celebrate, but partly a great sense of relief. Planning group events like this is really stressful. You're spinning loads of plates, it's really draining. Main problems I found: organising people. Who's available and when can they make it? Secondly, managing information. We've all got friends that forget what time we're leaving, what they need to pack, sometimes where we're going. You end up answering the same questions over and over again. And finally, managing money. I always felt really uncomfortable managing thousands of pounds of other people's cash in my own personal bank account without any real accountability. But I'm not the only person with this problem. According to research by the British Ticketing Forum, 26% of group events in the UK don't happen because group organisers think they're too stressful to organise. Now, in a market worth £24 billion every year, there's £8 billion of revenue being left on the table for UK businesses that we're hoping to unlock. Our solution is simple. At its core, Cargo is a digital kitty that helps you separate event finance from your personal finance in the form of a debit account. We're going to build a social organising hub that allows organisers in real time to update information with key details, so you're answering questions before they've even been asked. And finally, we're going to automate communications, because we all know how awkward it can be constantly having to chase people for money. Currently, we're a founding team of 2. Matty and I have spent the last 10 years working for some of the UK's biggest financial service institutions across brand, growth marketing, and software engineering. We've built platforms people love to use, brands that people love to talk about, and we're really good at acquiring customers efficiently, profitably, and at scale. Cargo is one app for event finance, one app for event admin, and one app for event communication. Our vision is for Cargo to be there every step of the way, from the time people start thinking about plans, right the way through to the time they start paying for them. Right now, if you want to book a group event in the UK, you have to take a multi-platform approach. You'll use personal banking apps to collect money and make payments, group communication tools like WhatsApp to send out information, and a tool like Excel or even notes on your iPhone to keep track of all this. Apps like Howbet are really good at syncing calendars and getting people talking about plans, but Cargo is here to do all that and allow them to make payments as well. Like I said, people are spending £24 billion every year socialising with friends, family and work colleagues. But our first market will be the UK hen and stag market. It's worth £100 million, it's roughly 400,000 hens and stags annually, and we're ready to take a big chunk of it. But we see the application of Cargo being huge, covering everything from family holidays, weekends with your friends, Christmas to be a book club. Whatever, Cargo will be there to help. Our business model, we've got 3 revenue streams. A percentage of every transaction carried out with the Cargo card, we'll take a fee for that. We'll build affiliate partnerships with vendors across travel, accommodation, hospitality, and we'll serve contextual adverts within our app, because we know we're sending advertisers really qualified eyeballs. Yes, mate, sorry. By the end of year 3, we hope to drive £1.2 million worth of revenue from 118,000 active users on our app. The majority of our revenue will come through our marketplace, supplemented by transaction fees and ad revenue. We plan to raise £150,000 in Q1 next year to invest in our app, integrate our embedded banking, and help grow our user base. So by the end of 2025, we'll be helping 250,000 people make better plans with their friends so they can do what they do best and enjoy themselves. Thank you very much for listening, and I look forward to chatting to anyone interested later.
So Matty, the CTO of Cargo, is here somewhere. What I haven't told him is in the next 15 minutes he needs to spin up the MVP, because we're all going to be using it to go out for a drink afterwards, all right? So, my pleasure now to invite Sarah from FYO.
Hi everyone, I'm Sarah, CEO and co-founder of FYO, a new app on a mission to make the world paperwork happy. When my co-founder Louise was working in the life insurance industry, she saw firsthand just how damaging chaotic paperwork can be and just how widespread it is. Earlier this year, Money Week reported that £50 billion is currently unclaimed in the UK alone due to lost and forgotten paperwork. But it was only when Louise's husband Ian left the army and started applying for work in the private security sector that the problem became personal. In his early 40s, Ian was effectively learning to navigate life and paperwork from scratch. And he realised that without Louise's help, he would have no idea where to start, had no route map. So if the problem is there's no route map, the solution would be to provide one. Most of us find paperwork challenging at some level, but in our research, we found there was one sweet spot. Millennials, like Ian, are in the early stages of their paperwork, feeling the pain, but also constantly looking for ways in which to navigate, untangle the complexities and mess of modern life. So a new way might be to produce something that was so simple, accessible, and secure, but started with a life route map, that if Ian could use it in Plymouth or working in Mogadishu, then anyone could. And if it were a happy experience, people would want to go back to it. FYO is a calm, ordered space in which to curate the documents that matter to you, and secure them simply and share them simply and securely within the FYO ecosystem. It also comes to deliver that happy experience that people want to go back to, pops of dopamine and sparks of joy, while at the same time, behind every drawer, providing a bank of FYO facts to help you navigate and make sense of life on the go. FYO just works, whether to remind you to worm the dog, share festival tickets, or verify your passport in seconds. So while we really are on a mission to make the world paperwork happy, of the 1.8 billion millennials in the world, we are targeting a very specific cohort of the 14 million UK millennials, who we know value experiences over possessions and are constantly sharing, and they pay for apps that enhance their lives. For example, Calm app. And we're living in anything but calm times at the moment. Pandemic, war, fire, flood, cost of living crisis are reason enough that we should all have a digital go bag. But if you want to resonate with the community, you need to listen to their mood music. And today's millennials are consciously adulting and engaging with a movement of millions inspired by Marie Kondo, clean and tidy community. Clean and tidy is becoming cool, and our view that paperwork safe and found will be the same. So we've taken time to test and measure different market approaches at a very granular level to really understand what works before we launched in June earlier this year. And that approach has paid dividends. We've moved from our target of 500 year end to approaching 2,500 users today. Briefly, the team. My background is in public relations, 25 years of experience, and I ran my own PR firm for 15 years, employing many millennials, and we're growing a team that brings together experience in the financial sector, brand and business growth, and we have a talented team of developers behind us. So our paperwork defines and describes our lives, and increasingly it's digital. This is a market currently worth $5.5 billion and is predicted to grow to 11.6 by 2026. So what sets FYO apart? Its mission to make paperwork a happy experience. It's an app with personality, but it also has a unique and highly secure share function, which currently has patents pending. And our promise is to help you navigate life as well as bits of paper. So we've taken a considered go slow to go fast approach. We've taken time and money to create a unique app functionality and a unique brand personality, and sow seeds for two sister applications in the small business and the enterprise market. We're actively raising 750,000. We had a head of growth in the wings and a specialist PR firm. Our target is to achieve 100,000 users by the end of 2023 to beta test FYO Biz and to pilot FYO Pro. Our vision is that FYO will be a companion for life, protecting you and the people you love. And if you would like any more detail, ideally I'd like to fire it to you, because then it would be for your information only. Thank you.
Fantastic. So we come to our final pitch, and my thighs are very, very grateful about that. So please welcome to the stage Jim from Credit Canary.
Yeah. Hi, good afternoon. I'm Jim, CEO and co-founder at Credit Canary. We're building an early warning system to allow lenders to identify those customers missing credit payments ahead of time. The cost of living crisis faced globally is hitting consumer credit lenders hard, but only a selected few monitor the financial health of their borrowers over time. And those that do use and rely on credit bureau data, which firstly is largely out of date, typically between 30 to 75 days at any given time, and secondly, only partially representative of today's changing economic climate. So as a result, for credit monitoring, it really is the wrong tool for the job. Faced with limited options, lenders globally are expecting for record credit losses, some $4.6 trillion this year alone. And as a result, it creates a vicious cycle. As the cost of bad debt increases, so too does the cost to serve and acquire. This ultimately makes credit more expensive and less accessible to those that need it most. Whilst we accept that no cure exists for credit default, we can prevent it through early intervention and inspiring behavioural change. At Credit Canary, we combine real-time, enriched borrower data, predictive analytics, and personalised nudges designed to reduce the cost of bad debt. Through real-time monitoring, we make the vicious virtuous, driving real impact for all involved. Current events really create the perfect storm for Credit Canary to thrive. Firstly, the cost of living crisis is here to stay, at least for the next 2 years. Secondly, changing regulation affecting lenders in the form of new consumer duty is coming into play next year, and many lenders aren't prepared. And lastly, dealing with credit delinquency and default risk is lenders' #1 problem. Through engaging with many of the UK's leading consumer credit lenders, we've identified a real need for real-time monitoring throughout the loan term. We achieve this need by combining product data, open banking, and credit data, enriching it to forward forecast a borrower's future disposable income. As a result, through predictive analytics, we can then identify customers at risk of missing their next payment, and where relevant, present timely nudges designed to keep them on the track. This is important, as for a typical lender, for every borrower that goes into arrears, it costs them about £1,000. The business model that sits behind Credit Canary is transactional. We charge around 10 pence per active credit monitored per month for each credit monitor that we charge. So, for a lender with a book size of around 100,000, where we monitor half, the average contract value is about 60k. Through experience, we know that scaling within consumer credit demands verifiable proof. And to achieve that, we're deliberately targeting the UK's mid-tier consumer credit lenders first, for 2 reasons. One, they have far shorter sales cycles, typically between 3 to 6 months. And second, they still serve large numbers of customers. Once we've got this proof, we will work upstream, engaging UK lenders and banks, as well as international opportunities, as well as considering other sectors where the same problems apply. To achieve this proof fast, we have a secret weapon, allowing us to test with data and live customers without the need for extensive technology spend. We've signed an exclusive agreement with SOAR, who have given us access to a sandbox platform where we can do that testing and get access to data with a substantial amount of customers. We're also building strong pipeline with many of the UK's leading consumer credit lenders, actively looking to understand what's going on with their world and aligning to their key challenges. From a competitive standpoint, our core competition is internal and outsourced data teams. What we're doing is we're presenting a proven plug-and-play solution that can be deployed at a fraction of the cost, and by doing so, dealing with that competition head-on. The team behind Credit Canary is extremely experienced, both within fintech and financial services. We have strong experience in both driving business performance, scaling, and raising money. We're actively raising £1 million at pre-seed to do 3 things. Firstly, to complete our first 3 proof of values to allow us to prove our product and start generating early revenues from 2023. Second, standing up the MVP. And third, giving the company sufficient runway to hit 250k ARR. We kicked off our fundraise at the start of September, and in the last 9 weeks or so, have got 210k committed. We're in late stages with 8 VCs, 3 of which are leads, and 1 of those leads is at IC. But we're actively looking to build out that round, and we're looking to speak to strategic, like-minded investors who can share our vision and really fuel our growth at a rate way faster than we're already achieving. If anybody would like to chat, I'd love to have a conversation and look forward to speaking to you after the event today. Thank you.
So that's the final pitch. I think hopefully you'll agree that's 7 fantastic pitches from 7 brilliant startups. Firstly, I wanted to thank our sponsors and supporters. The programme could not exist without Principality Building Society, Cardiff Capital Region and Confused.com. They've all been brilliant. They're all super engaged. They're great to deal with and it's a pleasure to work with them. And then the event sponsors for today, like I say, Angels Invest Wales, who we collaborated with on this event, Dragons, who are hosting us. A shame we can't see the pitch anymore now that it's dark. Welsh Government, Capital Law, again, who've been fantastic, providing a sort of advice to the startups, and Development Bank of Wales, of course. And my personal thanks as well. It's been a joy working with FinTech Wales this year. Basically, most of my work this year has been with FinTech Wales. Honestly, I can't say thank you enough to them. They've been brilliant to work with. They're really collaborative, really friendly, really open, and they really believe in what they're doing. So any of you, I'd honestly, if you don't already, really make an effort to engage with them. So now it's over to you. We've got drinks and snacks and stuff at the back. Go and speak to the startups. Go and chat to them. If you think you can do something to help them push forward, then please do, whether that is your cash, introductions, ideas. They're probably sick of my ideas, so it might be good of them to receive somebody else's ideas. And I suppose one last thing I would say is I know that most of you in the room are investors. Some of you also provide services as well. The startups have got a limited amount of time with active investors in the room, so if you do have a service to sell them, now's not the time. I just would like you to be aware that actually it's about the startups today. And also I've got some second rows out there looking for some tackle practice, and I will employ them mercilessly if I hear any of you pitching to our startups when they should be raising cash from our investors. So thank you, folks. Come and have a chat and a drink with us at the back. Sarah, you... Oh, yes. Yeah, we'll do that afterwards, Sarah. That's fine. Thank you, folks. Join us for a drink, and we'll chat to you in a second. Thank you.